So I wanted to talk today a little bit about NPR, which stands for the National Public Radio. It's an American publicly funded nonprofit media organization that produces and distributes news, talk, cultural programming. The current CEO is Catherine Mayer. She's been the president and CEO since March 25th, 2024. And prior, she was CEO of Wikimedia, which supports Wikipedia, etc. Um, she's crazy, and we're paying for this. And I kind of wanted to start off with a video of her talking uh, recently about about how truth doesn't really matter. It's about getting a consensus. So just check this out.
The hard things, the places where we are prone to disagreement, say politics and religion. Well, as it turns out, not only does Wikipedia's model work there, it actually works really well. Because in our normal lives, these contentious conversations tend to erupt over disagreement about what the truth actually is. But the people who write these articles, they're not focused on the truth. They're focused on something else, which is the best of what we can know right now.
Oh, God.
And after 7 years of working with these brilliant folks, I've come to believe that they are onto something. That perhaps for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done.
Oh my God. So she's saying that the truth is just an inconvenience. And if we're going to try to move the football down the field, we have to ignore truth and just kind of make up our own reality, I guess. And this is NPR. It's supposed to be a news uh, organization, and she's the CEO. So wow. Every time I hear that, it just blows my mind. So she was drug in to answer questions on this recently, and it didn't go so well for her. She was chewed up pretty good. Let's see. Here's one. This guy talks kind of funny, but here you go.
To the American people that
Let's
you're
start
not
this over.
You're a rabid progressive. And do you not think it's a problem that your political leanings make it seem to the American people that you're not biased and you're not doing your job? Because you agree that your job is to have journalistic integrity, right?
Absolutely, but there is a strong firewall between the newsroom and anything that I
Let's
do.
talk about the newsroom. You have 87 registered Democrats, not a single Republican in your editor board. So I mean, how does that work to give us the perception that you're doing your job of actually delivering unbiased information?
Well, I would agree with you that that number is a concern if it is accurate. I do
you agree?
believe that we need to have journalists who
It's not gonna
represent
do
the
anything
full
about it.
breadth of the American society so that we can
Yeah.
report well for all Americans.
Well, I think that you are
okay.
failing. I realize you've only been there for a year, but I just really think that while it is a small portion of your budget, you very much should expect to restructure your revenue streams, because I don't think that NPR is necessarily worth saving.
It was-
You're a
Wow. 87. So let's talk about that. So why are we paying for this? Conservatives, we have our hard-earned monies taken by threat of imprisonment in the form of taxes to fund this organization, among others like it, that actively work against our morals and principles. We all found out this week from her time in front of the panel that that 100% of her editorial board, 87 members, are all registered Democrats, 0 Republicans. So this whole organization, it's state-run media. That's exactly what it is. The thing is, I know a lot of folks that are swayed by that rhetoric. That's because it's all they come into contact with. And there are some good liberals out there, and I know many that I'm friends with, They're just inundated with this crap because they're not seeing things anywhere else, and so they believe it. We have a chance with those guys. But then there's just straight up evil libs who propagate this, and they know what they're doing, and they have Satan's win at their backs. So let's be clear. I think I speak for most conservatives when I say if Dems want to whip out their checkbooks, credit cards, cash, or wampum, whatever they got, and fund all this crap, I could give a rat's anus. But when you reach into my pocket to fund this fake news outlet that over and over has denied reality, denied factual stories, called them lies or misinformation, like the laptop story, they wouldn't even cover that because they said it was all conservative lies. It was all made up, which of course now we know it was 100% factual. They had no journalistic curiosity whatsoever. They wouldn't even talk about it. So we have to draw the line. This has to end. And thankfully, Elon is working on making that a reality. We're literally funding people that want to destroy our way of life. The Dems are the sneakiest bunch of cowards this world has ever seen. They lurk in the shadows, finding little crevices to invade and take advantage of. While us conservatives have been working away and not interested in silly crap, they've been weaponizing things that would have been insane to anyone in this country 20 years ago. We can no longer go along with our heads in the sand, just taking care of our families and jobs. They've invaded everything, everywhere you look. It's there now, infecting all aspects of our lives, from sports and TV and movies and even video games now. You can't escape it. They're seeking to normalize the abnormal, and these are outcasts that lived on the outskirts of society for thousands of years because the human race can't move forward with all that backward thinking. We knew that years and years ago, but somehow through legal means and preying upon the kindness of conservatives who never want to hurt feelings, they want to be empathetic and help people. They've finagled their way into positions of power throughout society. But there is hope still. With all that against Trump, he prevailed. We are still the majority. We just need to stay strong and do what's necessary now to return this country to its roots. There will be room for kindness and empathy, but not above logic and scientific facts, like that there's only two genders. We can do this, but we need to move fast. There's no room for error. I mean, I've played a lot of sports, and I played football, and it kind of feels like we're down by 6, and we just intercepted a pass at our own 1 yard line with 2 minutes left in the game. And we got 99 yards to go with no room for error. All plays must count. And it kind of feels like we've got Joe Montana at quarterback in Donald Trump. And I feel he's the guy that can do it, that he can lead us down the field and score that winning touchdown. And ultimately, we don't have a choice. We have to do that, not only for ourselves, but for our children and our grandchildren, and to keep this wonderful experiment rolling along. So, again, thanks for anyone that stumbled across my video. And as always, I'm praying for this country and everyone out there. Thanks.